So e-learning, there's a lot of theory, a lot of great theory, but the practice was lacking.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Strategy Show. I'm your host, Severino. This episode is brought to you by the Strategy Sprints. At Strategy Sprints, we do only one thing: strategy in sprints. Strategy means more revenue, more consistently, every month. In sprints means doing it while having fun, because the journey is what is important. You might never get to the end. So every week we try and bring you the best, the brightest people we can find, because as a CEO you need to learn a lot of stuff and to get current on whatever is out there that can help you. This week I'm particularly honored to have Panos Siozos. Hi Panos.
Hi Simon, thanks for having me.
Great to have you here, because today we will unpack a ton of value for our audience, because right now the number one topic of everybody is cash and getting to revenue again and getting to profits again. And you have a lot to unpack there, because you know one very fast way to create additional revenue quickly and in a very good way. So I'm super pumped to have you here. Panos, tell us something about yourself that maybe is not so much known.
I have a PhD in e-learning, so the background of our company is also very much research-based. So in my previous life, I used to be a researcher, publishing papers and doing research and designing platforms. And we put that, I guess, in the past. And at some point, we wanted to become practical. We wanted to apply things and don't have just design things for a paper, but design things for actual people and for actual users that would benefit from e-learning product. So e-learning, there's a lot of theory, a lot of great theory, but the practice was lacking. And that's how we ended up in this journey and created a company trying to help people put best e-learning in everyday practice.
Beautiful. You are the CEO of Learn Worlds that you co-founded, and you are in a very competitive field, a very relevant field right now, platform for online courses. You help people develop their own online course on your platform quickly and in a very good quality. So your competition is Kajabi, Teachable, etc. And you are doing this from Europe, right?
Yes, we are based in Europe. Most of us are Greeks and Cypriots, although now we have becoming an international team and adding people from all over Europe and even throughout the world. It's a very competitive space. E-learning is absolutely necessary. So people have been doing e-learning in many different ways. What most people may know are learning management systems, which are LMSs, usually they're called, which were the old way of teaching people, like creating a site, putting PDFs or videos in there and try to teach people through PDFs and videos. But this doesn't cut it anymore. This is not how people learn in their everyday lives. People want to learn something that is fresh. They want engaging content. They want interactive content. They want also to learn in a social content, because people don't learn in isolation. In our everyday lives, we want to talk with each other. We want to be in the same space, in the same classroom. We want to collaborate. And this is what we tried putting into our own platform for envisioning how people should learn and get trained today. But also, this is very, very important for trainers, because they can create a new source of income. As you mentioned before, e-learning was already in a great upward trajectory. The market was growing by about 100% every year. E-learning is a huge market, 350 billion, some huge numbers out there. This also includes corporate training and e-learning in universities. But there is a space that is very important for entrepreneurs, which is creating and selling online courses. If you have something that you know very well, chances are that people are willing to pay in order to get this knowledge. This might be about how you improve yourself as a CEO, how you do marketing, how you do sales, and even it can be the everyday stuff like how to do yoga or how to do fitness. So all this stuff was already a very interesting market, a market that was growing by 100% every year. Some great competitors there, adding some great products, and we were having a lot of innovation and bringing better products to people. And then this COVID thing happens, and it accelerated a market that is already hot. So overnight, trainers could not even reach their students. If you were doing an event or a conference, you couldn't do that anymore. So there was a huge, from one day to the next, almost a 5-fold increase in people trying to get an online course and trying to train their audience. And this can be either for selling online courses, if you have something that you want to sell and profit right away, just like selling, it's a knowledge product, just like selling an ebook or something like that. But also, e-learning obviously is very relevant when you try to train your employees, but also when you try to train your customers. So all these different fields where e-learning can apply, and this has been growing very, very fast under these conditions.
This is so relevant right now for people trying to think how they can digitize their knowledge, how they can have a hybrid, a mix of service and product, or even a full product, an online course that really is something like passive income. We like to say that there is no passive income because it's very active effort to create a good online course, but it can be a hybrid, something between a service and a product, if you get it well. Now, I created my first online course and it flopped completely. And at that time, I was a pro in designing education programs all over the world for 15 years of experience. So I knew how to create good courses, but the selling part was so hard. So let's unpack both how to create your first online course so that it's a good product, but then later on, let's also talk distribution.
Well, another very interesting thing that happens now with COVID is that people started becoming less perfectionist, because obviously where everybody's under tremendous stress, you want to reach your audience, and you don't have the time to spend like 6 months designing the best e-learning product or the best e-learning courses and doing instructional design. So you have to do it fast. And sometimes even just recording yourself speaking in front of a camera, even with that simple thing that you can do in half an hour, you can give tremendous value to your audience and to your students. So one of the things that we also learned, and our customers are discovering every day, is that you don't have to over-engineer. You don't have to have the perfect course. Sometimes it can be just good enough, but you have to put it in front of people, get their feedback, and improve it fast. We've seen customers that have been spending tens of thousands of euros or 6 months to create an amazing course, and this has been, it looks like super professional, but there might not be a good fit with your audience. So sometimes it makes much more sense, and this is the advice we give to customers. Just create a free mini course of 30 minutes, put it out there, give it for free, and start getting feedback. So this is how you will discover what your audience wants, what they need, even how much they're willing to pay for it, and then you can improve and start adding the things that work. So getting a course ready and ready to sell and successful in the first try, it's almost a miracle. This never happens. But what you need is to stay on the course, improve, iterate, add more stuff, make it more relevant, and adapt to your audience. That's the best thing that somebody can do. And you don't have to go very expensive and do all this, like have studios and multiple cameras and lots of scenarios and scripts. You can start much simpler, give to people something that they need. You can even start with one concept, 30 minutes about something that they would love to learn, and it would make them better. And this is how you start creating your audience. You have to get it in front of people, get feedback, and this is one way that this flywheel will start working. It's never passive, as you mentioned. That's great. It's very active passive income. It needs investment, but once you have this ready, you can create an amazing flywheel. More people coming to you, you learn more from your customers, and then you can create better content and expand your audience and your community.
I love the granularity that we have already, because it's so tangible and it's full of really immediate things that people can learn and apply. when I did the first course, it was 3 years ago, I had Laszlo coming here. Laszlo came with 3 cameras. So every module costed me 2,000 euro, and it took 3 weeks of post-editing of Laszlo and his team. He was coming from the film production, so it was a pro. I was wearing a tie. Now look at me right now. And this was really, maybe now listening to you, that's maybe a typical beginner problem, that you ask your people who are maybe in the media landscape, and they tell you that's how you do stuff because they are in television, for example. But the world has changed so dramatically, and from there, one module 2,000, then I went to making stuff more efficient, then having my own people, then it was 1,000 per module. Now I spend €0 per module because I just do my work and I do a screencast, and that's the module. And so I do what I do, but I just document it. And that was one part of the journey, getting the costs down and shipping much more.
The highest calling right now is to be of service. So the best sales is to not sell at all, but instead to serve the people you care about. Selling is telling. So who do you serve? And how do you serve them? The quality of this experience makes the difference. If you want our experts to go over your current sales funnel and really dive into the experience and the needs of your clients at each conversion point and make it a wow experience, then you are in luck because we have an exercise for you. Our 15-minute sales audit and one-on-one coaching with a world-class sprint coach. Fill out a couple of questions about your sales funnel and you will have clarity. In your personalized coaching session, you will get clarity on your number 1 bottleneck, 3 ideas on how to accelerate your growth, and a tangible sales map on how to double your conversions. Go to strategysprints.com/sales and do our 15-minute free sales audit today.